Hey everybody, Joe here, and we have to talk about this. About an hour ago, there was another shooting in Minneapolis involving federal law enforcement in North Minneapolis. This is coming from the city of Minneapolis. Andy No comments under there with this link here. 3 U.S. officials tell CBS News the shooting occurred after a men with shovels attacked ICE officers during an arrest operation. One of the men, a Venezuelan migrant, was shot in the leg and is expected to be okay, two of the officials has said. So there you have it. Migrants, illegal migrants, most likely, if they're from Venezuela, they are probably Tren de Aragua or other such gang affiliated, maybe criminals or whatever, that were sent here under Maduro because, you know, most Venezuelans are more than happy to be going home right about now, supposedly, from what I understand from all the videos I've seen. So we do have something from Fox News on that, and here it is. Let's get that played up.
This is a Fox News alert. This breaking just as we're coming on the air tonight. We have learned that there was an ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. We go live to Alexis McAdams. She is live on the ground with the details. Alexis, I've just been looking at these images that we're just getting a hold of now, and we'll keep them up for our audience to see. It looks like things are, spiraling out of control very quickly there.
Well, Sean, that's the thing, is it ebbs and flows. So 1 minute, there's a small protest at the federal building. The next minute, these people with whistles and an agenda show up to these different sites across the city. That's what DHS has been saying. What we know right now from our colleague Bill Malugin, who just got off the phone with his federal sources, Sean, is that a man who was a target of an ICE operation from Venezuela, who ICE says was in the country illegally, was a target in this operation here in Minnesota. So they go to the door. That's when they say this Venezuelan migrant held up a shovel, tried to assault one of their agents. And you can hear those chants there in the background as protesters show up. That's when they say use the shovel to try and assault the agent. Shots were fired. This Venezuelan teen, we're told, was shot in the leg, expected to be okay. Bill Malugin telling me there's actually a picture that a source texted him of this guy on a stretcher smiling, kind of giving a thumbs up as he's taken away to the hospital. So we'll get more on what's going on there at the scene. But it's become aggressive here. And I saw it today when I was on the ground with law enforcement here, with ICE agents here in Minnesota. It's something we've been keeping an eye on as it continues to grow. But it comes as the governor.
And, it's kind of funny to me that these people are fighting to keep criminals in their neighborhoods. It just never astounds me how stupid the mind of a liberal actually is. And at the end of the day, I get they're not having kids because they think the world is ending from climate change and stuff. So they don't really care if somebody else's kid gets raped by one of these freaks. That's perfectly fine in their minds, as long as it's not, somebody they know. And let's be honest, they're crazy enough to where if it is somebody they know, they'll make excuse for the migrant anyway. But we're going to get into this a little bit more before I just wanted to stop and say, please like, share, and subscribe if you like the content that I'm putting out. It's really the only thing that helps me on here. Also, maybe leave a comment of some sort. Also, I'm going to start working on a documentary style, not long, but more of an informative podcast episode about why we actually need Greenland, our history with Greenland, and things of that nature. So I just wanted to let you know, make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you want to learn more about that kind of stuff. Let's take a look at the rest of this video.
Here, Tim Walz, who's also under investigation in this huge fraud scheme here, Sean, just told people, hey, these are just our neighbors, and if you see them getting arrested, take out your cell phone and record. Watch.
Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans.
But that's just not what we saw today on the streets of Minneapolis. You can see the protesters are continuing to erupt here with anger. But when you talk to ICE agents, they say that...
Oh, look, more peaceful protests where they're shooting fireworks that can actually kill you at the police officers. See, these liberals who aren't down in this kind of stuff, we're allowed to buy those types of fireworks here, and people end up maimed and injured and sometimes die from these things. 1 year, our fireworks were done. We were watching somebody else's fireworks to the west of us, and one of them either tipped over because they weren't using the bricks to hold it in place and so on. And the fireworks you could see just were shooting all over the ground. There was people yelling. You could hear, you couldn't see any of it because it was nighttime and it was, half a mile away, right? But it was a big firework. And let's just say I heard that they wound up at the hospital, at least one or two of them. So, I mean, it's no joke when they do this kind of stuff, but liberals are literally insurrectionist terrorists. And that's where they are. That is the left now. I can't say it enough to you guys. I don't know how else to put this to you. We've been in a soft civil war, a one-sided civil war for going on 10 years now. It started in 2017 when Trump won. It carried on in between the two under Biden as lawfare against our president because they knew he was going to win. And they knew they stole the 2020 election. More coming on that, by the way. And then it restarted again as soon as he took power again, because they can't stand having a president that actually follows the law, follows the Constitution, and does the things that the American people want him to do. They're perfectly fine with lawmakers that lie to your face. That's what they want. They'll tell you that it's Trump lying to your face, but he's not. They're deporting. They're having millions sign up to get deported out voluntarily. They're rounding them up. And the entire time, these lawmakers are encouraging them to interfere with ICE operations, which makes ICE's job harder. Obama was the deporter in chief. You didn't see this kind of shit on the streets because they weren't inciting their people to do this kind of shit on the streets back then. Now they are. And so that's why you see the chaos. So when you see this chaos and you hear these polls, most of Americans, 50-some% of Americans think ICE should be abolished after the shooting in Minnesota. Do you really believe that poll? I sure as hell don't, because I have not seen one person that thinks she was in the right, which includes her own father. We'll get to that.
They're being doxxed, they're being tracked, and they're being targeted here. We saw it before they even got out of the car today at some of these crime scenes. These people were out notifying law enforcement. Take a look at this. And then also, we can tell you that the tactic, though, is not new here in the streets of Minneapolis. It's been rampant. Borders are Tom Homan telling Fox earlier the White House is actually looking into who these protesters you see on your screen are. You can see the pepper balls. You can see the pepper spray being shot. And this is what continues to happen, Sean. We can tell you it's been a week since Renee Nicole Good was shot here in the streets of Minneapolis. But ICE says they're not pulling out. This is targeted operation.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
And there you have it. And as I said in one of my last episodes, the reason you're seeing the surge of ICE agents there is because of the fact that this is happening down on the ground in Minneapolis, all this violence. So at the end of the day, knowing that if they send the National Guard, it's going to be a big court battle. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. They're going to fight it. They're going to cry about it. They're going to try to turn it into some election thing. So what they're doing is they're using ICE, who has the legal authority under multiple laws to protect themselves and carry out operations unimpeded, which means they can arrest illegal American citizens. That is the bottom line. And I don't know why any of these activist groups who claim they care about people so much aren't telling these people that. Why would you not tell them that? Is it because you want them to die and be martyrs? Yes, that's exactly what it is, because they're a freaking death cult. And when people figure that out and start realizing it, maybe we can actually be a country again and rid the country of these freaking weirdos and get them rounded up and sent to the mental institutions that they belong in. So this is her father-in-law right here. Take a listen to this.
I want to ask you about this. When you talk about the confusion, and you've been open, obviously, about your support for the president, when you look at the videos of what happened, and I'm sure they're very hard for you, Timmy, to watch if you've even been able to, but the Deputy Attorney General says that the Justice Department doesn't believe that there's evidence to back a criminal investigation, right? And nothing about charges or anything like that, just an investigation into what happened in terms of the ICE agents' actions. But they were, according to the prosecutors resigning today, pressuring them to investigate Renee's actions. And
that's another thing, too. The prosecutors who were investigating the Somali fraud were asked to look into the wife of Renee Good, and they resigned instead, which tells you everything you need to know about these people. They were willing to look into the fraud, which was great and fine and everything. But when it came down to investigating the person that got her own wife shot, they didn't want to do it because, they live in a blue area and probably would be hunted down and harassed at their kids at school and everyone. It's a little different when you're a local on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So I don't fault them for dropping out. I don't know what their actual reasons were for just quitting and not doing any of that, but I have a feeling that that's some of it.
And Becca, her wife's actions. How do you feel about all that?
Well, I'm not blaming anybody. I mean, it's a hard situation all the way around. It's hard for for everybody involved. I mean, the ICE agent, at first I didn't see the footage where, he was actually, he was actually being ran. I mean, I seen the bump of the car hitting his legs. And so in a flash like that, it's hard to say how you would react. From my understanding that he had been through that before, maybe dragged or something. And so, like I said, it's just a hard situation for everybody. Becca, she's a great person as well. I mean, I don't have any many enemies. I love everybody, and that's what the Bible tells us: love our neighbors as we love ourselves. But I think there's some bad choices, and the word says, "For the wrath of God will come upon the children of disobedience." And it's I don't blame ICE, I don't blame Rebecca, I don't blame Renee.
I'm waiting for the CNN host's head to start turning in circles and green vomit to start shooting out of her mouth here any second now.
I just wish that if we're walking the Spirit of God, I don't think she would have been there.
And there you have it. So that's her father-in-law. He says, and see, guys, this is why I keep bringing up the family who claim that she wasn't an activist and all this and that, and she was a Christian and all this. Now, how long has it been since they've talked to her after she was whatever happened to her with this lesbian weirdo? How long's it been? Like, were they truly not aware that she was into this stuff, doing this nonsense, or were they just saying that because they planned to sue? I've heard that somebody in the family has hired the George Floyd lawyer. But this is the reality of the situation, guys, right here. The ICE agent who shot her, his medical records have been released, and he suffered internal bleeding in the torso following the incident, according to U.S. officials briefed on his medical condition. So there you have it. This guy who was rammed with the car, whether people want to admit it or not, after she looked him dead in the face and rammed him. Out of the car. Did have injuries, and that's what kills me about the left, is that they truly believe that because he walked that he was fine. They don't understand what an adrenaline can do. Apparently they have no idea, because 9 times out of 10 they're the ones bringing the violence against somebody else. So it's somebody else at the brunt of their hands that's feeling the adrenaline and so on, and all they're doing is trying to kill them. That's how they are. That's how terrorists operate. So also we have, one sec, let me see if I can find that really quick. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. That's not it. Oh, shoot. Oh, there we go. I have to scroll through my bookmarks, guys. The video that I kept referencing since the shooting that I thought I had bookmarked, but it wasn't there. Has resurfaced, and I did bookmark it this time. It's just I bookmark a lot of things for you guys, and half the stuff I don't even get to. Oh, but while I'm still looking for it, let me bring this up really quick, because this is an actual Minnesotan who is a real American here and not a LARP like these people in the streets. So let's take a listen to what this woman has to say. There we go. Here she is. This is a woman in a small town in Minnesota, and she's sharing a story about what she witnessed at one of the local stores.
I love the fucking suburb I'm in. So ICE was just in my suburb at our local grocery store while I was there, and they were grabbing somebody. Nobody in the grocery store stopped them from doing their job. Everybody was clapping and excited about ICE being there. People were hooting and hollering, chanting for ICE. You gotta love small towns in Minnesota, honestly. We are so fucking stoked. And honestly, you know what I did after the ICE agents got done with their job and what they were doing? I said, can I buy you all, something to drink, something to eat? And I did. And I sure fucking did, because you know what? I'm excited that ICE is in Minnesota. Really excited. I'm not gonna tell you the suburb I'm in, but it's close to Stillwater. We'll just leave it at that. Best thing I've seen today is watching an ICE agent arrest somebody and send them back to where they came from. Love it. Super happy about it. Love the suburb I live in because there was no protesting. Nobody stopped them. Nobody did because no one gives a shit. We want them gone. You know, I love the fucking suburb.
That's the reality on the ground, despite what they have you believe. You know, that's the reality on the ground. I mean, you've got this place here. Let's see if I can get that brought up for you. There we go. This is coming from Dustin Garage. Or Grage, whatever it is. Minnesota business north of the Twin Cities stands with ice. Tim Walz is turning Minnesota red. More ice would be nice. F.U. Walls. So this is Central Wood Products and Landscape Supply. So they might lose a little business within the blue city there for now. But, you know, it's worth it when the people that you're getting hired by are mentally deranged weirdos. So there's that. I'm still looking for that other video. It's so far down at this point. It's going to take me a minute. But we had this happen as well. Oh, no, that was somewhere else, not there. But where in the world is... Oh, right here. I wanted to show you this while I'm still scrolling. This is what downtown Minneapolis looks like. This is an American city, you guys. I'm not even kidding. I know it's going to be hard for you to believe, but take a look at this.
You have arrived.
This is what I get a kick out of. People over property. But without people, there isn't property.
Jesus Christ. Like, that's shit you see in third world countries, y'all. This is what the left wants for you. I don't know why anybody would still be supporting these people. And then you got this from DHS. Tim Walz has refused to cooperate with ICE and release nearly 470 criminal illegal aliens back onto the streets of Minneapolis or Minnesota to terrorize Americans. It's common sense. Criminal illegal aliens should not be released back onto our streets. We're calling on Governor Walz to cooperate with ICE.gov and honor and arrest the detainers for the more than 1,360 criminal illegal aliens in his custody. Some of the worst release include this guy, Lenny Odemo Ramirez Santos, a criminal illegal alien from Honduras charged with sex offense against a child, fondling and driving under the influence. Edwin Amable Asha, fucking A, man. A criminal illegal alien from Ecuador charges for lewd and lascivious acts with a minor. This person here, I'm not even going to bother with the names at this point, guys. Cruelty towards a child and domestic violence. This person here. Negligent manslaughter with a vehicle and driving under the influence of liquor. This person here. Burglary, first degree, aggravated robbery, and larceny and terroristic threats. Drug trafficking and selling synthetic narcotic. And there you have it. So that's just a few of these that they're just releasing back on the streets. And liberals are fighting ICE to prevent them from taking them out. Now, this also happened, if I can get the link here. One of the neighbors of Jonathan Ross, the complete patriot who took out the terrorist in the car. Why did that not work? Copy link. There we go. Took out the terrorist that was trying to run him over with a car. This is the neighbor. This is what she did. Let's take a look at this.
Hi, everyone. This is a PSA.
That's as loud as I can make it.
Jonathan Ross lives in my town, Chaska, Minnesota. There are 2 police squad cars sitting in front of his home. Earlier this morning, I passed just to see what kind of action was there. Saw the police officers there this morning. I did a U-turn by them, turned out, and then went to go do an errand. I came back because I wanted to ask if they were protecting him or if they're protecting the general public. And the police officers basically said, we're here to protect the community. He looked at me like I was some idiot, and, you know, it is what it is, but I don't really believe him. I think they're protecting him. I think he's hiding out in his house, and I'd love for everyone who doesn't like him circle around in his neighborhood. I won't say exactly what road, if it's Court or if it's Drive, you can figure that out. But I will just say that the numbers look a lot like a 1 and a 1, 2, 0. I don't know. Go circle around, make him uncomfortable, everybody.
All right, there you have it. This fish face weirdo actually got fired from her job for that and should be arrested, if you ask me. And then you've got this. I said I would try to not do these videos without talking about more fraud. Now, the reason all this is happening is because of things like this. This is Keith Ellison talking to the Minnesota fraudsters, some of whom were arrested in the Feeding Our Future scandal. Take a listen to this recording.
Feel free to call me directly. And it is my goal to see prosperity among people who've been denied it. You know, I think it's very kind and important for you to say that new American communities appreciate the sacrifices of people who come before, but we're all in this together, right? You see what I'm saying? I think it's kind of you to say it, and I appreciate it, but we don't recognize no differences between us. We're one, and we're going to stand up for each other and make sure that we get some things fixed.
Absolutely.
I do recognize there's a problem, but what I really need to move to be effective on your behalf is to get specific.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you know, this sister on this day is having this problem on this, and then I can call up and be like, what is the problem? And let me tell you, just being able to say, just getting the question, just getting the inquiry from the AG is sometimes enough to make people knock it off.
We need a true
And there you have it.
partner to fight for basic justice, and that is your MO.
Well, brother, let me just tell you this. Of course, I'm here to help. I mean, but let me be clear. I'm not here because I think it's going to help my reelection.
No.
I don't care about no reelection. I voluntarily threw my congressional career away. I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. It's boring to me. So to do this, to do what I'm doing now. So of course, I didn't leave that job to do nothing in this job. I mean, am I going to get more hits than I got by prosecuting a police officer and giving them life in prison? Right? So we're going to, so let's just go fight these people.
All right, there you have it. There was him saying, you know, if it comes across my desk, I can maybe make it disappear. And they said, oh, well, we'll be voting for you then. So there you have it. And then we've got this here. This is the video that I kept referencing that I didn't have. I want you to listen close to this. Hopefully the audio will be okay. Let me just go ahead and hit play.
Why don't you have real bullets?
Can you believe that? Why did you have real bullets? Like, were you practicing? Were these people that were training you people to impede ICE and commit crimes? Federal crimes, by the way. Did they have you training on a Nintendo? Like, what was you training on? I got an Xbox here. I know those aren't real bullets, but I also have guns, and I know what those bullets can do that come out of those guns. Like, hello? What the hell are you talking about? And then she also admits, there's a longer part to this video, by the way, a different part to this video. I think this guy interviews her a little bit later, asks if she knows anybody or has anybody around. But here you see her admitting, it's my fault. I made her come down here. It's my fault. So the whole narrative now has been blown out of the water, y'all. And that is what, I mean, we knew that was going to happen because we knew what the truth was. So there you have it, guys. Another person shot in Minnesota. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you so feel like you would. It would help me a lot with the algorithm. And I will talk to you all very soon. I'm going to get busy on that kind of documentary style Greenland video and a couple other things I got to work on. And I'll talk to you all very soon. Sorry I didn't have as many videos today.